Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Chase. This is another episode of The Daily Creative. And if this is your first time watching the show, this is a show where I just, whenever I can, I answer questions about your journey toward becoming an aspiring or maybe even a professional creator. It's the only job I've ever had in my life, and I've got enough experience, I feel like, to answer questions that you have questions about. And I also got, I got the internet here, I got a community. I like to help you out, given that I've been through the ringer. So the first question is going to be from a woman. Actually, I'm just going to display it. All right, ready? Go.
Hi, Chase. My name is Chloe Chisholm. I'm 16
Chloe.
years old. My dad just turned 51 and has been working in the same office since he was in his 20s. He went to Massachusetts College of Art and Design. He's a photographer, a writer, and he draws. However, he has very little time to be creative because of his office job. My dad has a blog called mycreativeworkout.com, and his photography Instagram is @MarkCPhoto. It's super frustrating for me to watch him not pursue his creative passions. My question for you is, how does someone quit their job and pursue in a career they love when they have a family?
Got it.
Thank you.
Chloe, well, you're throwing your dad under the bus here. Actually, I think it's beautiful. You're inspired. It sounds obviously you're not throwing him under the bus. You're trying to help him. And you know, at some point, like, the kids become the parents. You know, it's like, I love that little cycle. So Chloe, 16, cares deeply about her father, who's 51, feels like he's grinding at the office job too much. So I'm gonna talk to both of you guys, maybe even mostly dad, just for a second here. I think it's important to recognize that right now, more than any time before in the history of the world, there are so many paths to get to wherever you want to go. One of the things, I do a little meme every time I get my haircut, which I'm long overdue for, by the way. I'm gonna see Mitch tomorrow. But I got a little meme on my Insta stories and Snapchat where I ask Mitch this question: hey Mitch, do you ever cut hair without a plan? And he says, no, Chase. Whenever I cut your hair, I have a plan. And the same is true with life. If you don't know where you want to go, you haven't defined what success looks like for you, or you haven't defined what you want to be or become, or what your career is, you're never going to get there, right? Because there is no there. And usually once you get there, then you're setting other goals and you continue moving. So it's very important, I believe, to build something with the end in mind. What would it look like if your wildest dreams came true? And then that's the path that you put yourself on. That is why CreativeLive exists, for example, so people can learn about their passions and the things that they might not otherwise be able to learn without going to some dumb four-year school where they're sinking all their money. This is learning from the world's top experts. So I'm encouraging people to set a goal of what they want to be or become, and then pursue that. So specifically with you guys and with your 51-year-old father, I forget, what is his name? Sorry, it was a little bit hard for me to hear in the voicemail there, but maybe, so the fact that there are a million paths to get there, in order to do the thing that you want to do right now, or you, you used to have to do X, then Y, then Z, and then if you pass the test at Z, then you would be able to become the thing. That is completely exploded now for 95% of the jobs in the universe. And for you all who are 16 right now, like Chloe, like 50 or 60% of the jobs that your age group is going to have literally don't even exist yet. So it's very hard to set these goals, I get that. But the fact that there are so many paths to get wherever, like right now, I'm an entrepreneur, the CEO and founder of CreativeLive. Normally I would have had to gone to school, graduate from college, gotten an MBA in order to sort of have any venture capitalist investment. That's totally gone now. So the fact that there are a million paths, to me, makes, if you're listening, like, pay attention. Chill out. Chill out. It doesn't matter if you're 16 or 50 or 80. What matters is that you're starting something, you're putting yourself on that path. Whatever you've done to date doesn't have in any way, shape, or form decide what you can be. I'm banking that stuff behind you is very helpful, because you'll have gained a certain amount of wisdom along the way. Use that wisdom to apply toward your future. That's beautiful, right? Like, the fact that your father at 51 can decide he wants to scoop ice cream for the rest of his life, or that he can become a screen printer, or hell, now even an astronaut. You used to have to be an astronaut from day one, and now we're about to enter a completely different universe with respect to space travel, thanks to Elon Musk and Richard Branson and a bunch of smart, crazy folks that are going to fly people to the stars on the regular. You actually could conceive of becoming, just starting to live the dream of becoming an astronaut at 50 years old. So I give that example because I want to underpin that whatever your dad is doing right now, if that's what he wants, if he wants to be dedicated to his family more than his blog and his photography, more power to him. You got to respect that, okay? You got to respect that, Chloe. If, however, your dad's telling you, in one ear, he's like, God, I wish I could do more of this or that, then this video is for him, and I give you a lot of props for being courageous enough to come on the show, do this for your father, get him on the show, and then you can show him this video. So, Dad, now I'm talking specifically to you. If you're not doing what you want to be doing, and you are using words like I got a mortgage, and I got kids, and I got all these things, I bet if you went to Chloe and you went to anybody else in the family, and you said to them, hey, you guys, I really want to make a career change. Could we all be in this together? Could we spend a little bit less money? Can we maybe sell one of the cars? Can we downsize into a smaller apartment so that I can be happy and pursue my dreams? I'm betting 9 out of 10 families would say, we got your back. So, Chloe, I don't want you to assume you know what your dad's gonna want to be for the next chapter of his life without talking to him. And then Dad, if you aren't doing the thing that you want to be doing, it's up to you to shift gears. No one else is gonna shift gears for you. So good luck with this. I think that was some pretty wicked advice. Can you guys follow up with me a little bit? Like, I would love to know. I'd love to know what you end up. And maybe you can get back to us and say, you know what? Well, my dad really does love just being a dad, and that's his mission in life, and he wants these other things to be hobbies. But I really appreciate your answer. And maybe there's some different follow-up. But please follow up with us. I love hearing the connect the dots, the whole circle. And thanks for having the guts to call in, Chloe. You are awesome. And give a shout out to your dad. Awesome. So that was question one. I got 2 questions for today's episode. I got another one queued up from my man Finn. Finn, did you text that to me? I think you did, didn't you? Bobby? Where's Bobby? There you go, Bobby. Let's listen to this voicemail. We're not going to call anybody live today, are we? No, we don't have time. Okay. Bobby, listen up. Check.
Hey, Chase, thanks for doing this. My name's Bobby Phillips. I run homestudioMixtips.com.
Mixtips?
It's a music home studio education site. The question I have for you, I'm looking for some tips on how to balance between creating the music that I create, because I am a songwriter and an active musician.
Okay.
And I record music for other people in my area. And then I also want to educate on the website I mentioned. So I'm kind of struggling with the time balance. Maybe you have some tips for, how to balance between creating the art that I want to create, but also focusing on that education website. I figure CreativeLive and the CEO of CreativeLive is probably the best place to ask that question. Thanks so much for taking it. Appreciate it. Bye.
Nice one, Bobby. Great question. What I love about Bobby's question is that Bobby is not alone. There are so many people that are either instructors or they are passionate musicians. They struggle between balancing those two things. Not dissimilar from the answer to my last question from Chloe about her dad. I don't know necessarily from what I heard in your question was that you want to balance between these two things. So I'm going to answer that from balance. It sounds like you actually are balanced. You said you're a working musician, you're making money and you're making songs and you're putting them out there, and you're a teacher. You're teaching sound mixing and presumably making money from that, and those are the two things. Now, I don't know, maybe the question is, how do I keep doing that? Well, keep doing what you're doing. If what I think is embedded in there, which is, this is one of the things that I've learned, is to listen to the question inside the question. So what I think I heard, Bobby, was that you're dissatisfied with one of the two. You either want to be making more money. Is this how you understood the question, Finn? Yeah? You either want to be making more money and selling more classes or making more money as an instructor, or you want to double down on your musicianship? So I'm going to answer both those questions just so we can make sure we get it in the can. Now, if you are a musician and you want, you are a musician, if you want to be more focused on your musicianship and this making money on the side thing as a music mixing teacher, this is the advice I've given it in lots of shows before. How can you shrink your bills and then find out how much you need to work over here in order to free up as much time as you can to pursue your musicianship to whatever degree that you want? This is the most unsung, undiscussed, and what I consider to be the key to unlocking so many people who are stuck in this cycle of I want to live my dreams, but I can't because I got X, Y, Z. You need to make some life changes because you don't get what you should have, you get what you must have. And if you make it a declaration that I must transition into this other thing, you will make it happen. I 100% guarantee. That's a quote from the Crossroads of Should and Must book by Elle Luna. I've already quoted that in 3 of these daily creatives. It's an incredible book. Thank you, Elle. Love you. Mwah. So that's, you need to shrink your bills and shrink your the amount of time that you have to spend teaching in order to focus more on musicianship. If you want to do the opposite of that and you want to grow this musicianship teaching business and still maintain this thing, what do you want to get out of this? What I believe is that these two things are wildly beneficial to one another. So I wouldn't quit this thing. I think being an actual musician who can play the shit out of whatever you play and produce the shit out of whatever it is you want to produce, to me that's credibility, that's authenticity, and that's something that I see people teaching. There's a million teachers' websites out there, I can teach you how to do Photoshop and 1, 2, 3, and yet if you look at the people, there's no credibility, there's a lack of authenticity. They've only been in the game for 1 or 2 years, and I'm not above starting out from something small. Everyone in this room, myself included, has started from somewhere. But if you want to differentiate yourself, I think being able to walk the walk of being a badass fill-in-the-blank Photoshopper, in your case, an amazing studio musician, that will give a ton of credibility to your teaching career. That's the thing, people want to be able to emulate the sound. They want you to unlock for them something that is special about you and your work such that they can apply that to their own. And if you don't have a clear point of view in actual music, you're not going to be able to have a real relationship as a definitive teacher who stands apart from all the other noise out there in the world. So what was we had a similar question. You remember this guy? Previous episode, and then he did a follow-up on that.
The guy who had the
photo website. Jason Teal, you're just popping up again. I'm trying to give you some props because you wrote us a response to that, and then I wrote a response to a response, and this is part of why I love this community. So this guy, Jason, I critiqued his photo website. He's trying to sell classes as an educator, and then I went to his photography website, and I was pretty hardcore on the critique of his photography because it seemed focused enough to be a statement. It didn't seem differentiated enough to have anybody say, wow, I really want to learn from this guy. And I think the same is true here. So if going back to Bobby, if you want to focus on your focus on teaching or stay balanced in a way that this continues to grow, don't give up on your musicianship, because as soon as you do, you've lost credibility and authenticity towards your core audience, which is people that want to be able to produce that sound that only you got. So, sweet. Bobby, thank you very much. Chloe, thanks for being on the show, you two guys. I'm going to wrap this episode up. If you want your question asked on this show, or answered rather, if you want the question answered on the show, pretty easy. You just dial 802-962-4357. That's actually spells help, those last 4 words. 802-962-4357. I would appreciate the hell out of it if you would share the show. To me, that will get you credibility with your homies, that you're willing to spread information for free. Hopefully you think this is high quality information. I've been there. I've done the stuff that you all are talking about doing, and I've been a part of this ecosystem talking about this stuff for basically my whole life. So Again, 802-962-4357 if you want your question answered. I'll be back again. I'm just going to keep relentlessly pounding these things out. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for caring. I'm Chase. Talk to you tomorrow.